Welcome back. Ohio Governor John Kasich remains on the campaign trail, returning to New Hampshire for several events there tomorrow. Last week, Governor Kasich and I sat down at Newsmax New York, and during our conversation, the topic of health care policy came up, and the governor offered his assessments of Obamacare and Medicaid.
With Medicaid, the House and the Senate Republican majorities have just, again, passed it this time, and we are able to treat the mentally ill and the drug addicted and to get them out of prison and get them on their feet. That's our goal, and it's been successful, and the working poor to have health care so they're not in the emergency rooms all the time. So we save money ultimately on the arithmetic of having people turned from being kept in a prison to where they can become productive citizens. And secondly, JD, for me, there's a moral aspect of it. I mean, you know, we just can't turn our back on people. Now, I will tell you that that doesn't mean you just continually help people. My mother used to say, JD, it's a sin not to help people who need help, but it's equally a sin to continue to help people who need to learn how to help themselves. But there have been lives saved in Ohio as a result of the fact that we've been able to rehab people, get them on their feet, and people don't have to do it my way, but we can't keep locking the mentally ill up in prisons. It's just immoral.
Let me ask you about...
We can lock them up if they're dangerous, but we have to be in a position of being able to get them on their feet.
Let me ask you about Obamacare. As president, do you want to repeal it?
Yes, I don't believe in Obamacare. It's a top-down program. It's hurting job creation. There's a better way to do it, and we're doing it in our state. And see, if you can do it in Ohio, you can do it in the country. It's like if you can do it in New York, you can do it anywhere, right? And the bottom line is we need to empower our primary care doctor to keep us healthy and incentivize him or her to keep us healthy as we go through that the healthcare labyrinth that we find ourselves exposed to. So, give you one quick little story. In Columbus, Ohio, if we keep kids out of the children's hospital who have asthma, the hospitals get less revenue, the insurance companies make more profit, but guess what? Having good protocols keeps the kid out of the hospital, and then the two entities share the profits or the benefits, which is really good. It's a win, 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 win.
What would John Kasich bring to that job that is uniquely John Kasich?
Well, it's because I'm not really concerned about polls, and I'm not really concerned about who yells the loudest. What I bring is really the son of a mailman, who's always been taught that there's a lot of people that can't speak up for themselves and that the underdog needs to be heard. And I think that's unique, but look, I'm just doing the best I can, JD, just the best I can. I'm not holding myself up as the greatest guy or anything, but I think I can bring this country together. And I think this country, more than anything else, needs to be unified, needs to feel that we're Americans first and everything else second.
And we will have more of the interview tomorrow night, right here on Newsmax Prime. Now it's time to take a look at what is on your mind via social media. A whole lot of you wrote in about our visit with Reverend Franklin Graham last night, including Claudia. Here's what she had to say. Thankful that you invited Franklin Graham to be interviewed. His comments regarding the events in Syria were insightful. The removal of Assad would mean the slaughter of the thousands of Christians living in Syria and exacerbate the flow of refugees into Europe. Next, we hear from Chris, who writes in about my interview with Ohio Governor and presidential candidate John Kasich and Kasich's views on same-sex marriage. Chris writes, Kasich agrees with the Supreme Court on same-sex marriage. The court was wrong, and this should be addressed by whoever is the next president. And finally, Lois checks in. She's got a definite notion of who should replace John Boehner as the next Speaker of the House. Here's the way Lois sees it, writing in with a question. How about Newt Gingrich or Tom DeLay or any other qualified outsider? Trey Gowdy needs to stay on course until President Trump can appoint him Attorney General. Thanks for your comments. If you have a comment for us, send it to newsmaxtv.com/comments. My closing comment, as always, is this: stay brave, stay free, stay tuned.